Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another discussion video. Now, I want to do this one pretty quickly too, because it's also one of my more popular games. I'm even getting asked left and right about different things on it, like how to get some characters stronger and whatnot. But anyways, this one's about Kamihime Project, which is also known as Kamihime Project R for us on the Nutaku side of the game. Now, they do have a DMM version as well, which also happens to be the same case for, I'd say, the next few games that I'll discuss. But at the same time, it the one you play determines how much content's in it. But that's why I also have a little bit of a heads up about some of the stuff coming over, which I'll get to a little bit later. But for the game itself right now, it's actually pretty good with how it's designed. Like it's got an interesting little combat system where an enemy's turn doesn't even start until you normally attack it, which means you can just spam all the skills you want and just have them just all go off in a chain as much as you like, as long as they're not on cooldowns. And you'll end up stacking a whole bunch of different debuffs, stacking a whole bunch of buffs on your team. You can heal multiple times, anything you need before you start doing the normal attacks. And then after you do that, that's where you got to deal with what the enemy throws at you. Now, there's also something like, if you know about the Final Fantasy series and quite a few other games that have it, there's a special bar that fills up where you get to do a really strong move once it does fill up. You can use this at will, but doing it with multiple characters, it results in a finishing blow that also adds extra damage. So naturally, having all five gives you the strongest one. But it's a nice little concept. But at the same time, enemies can send stuff like that towards you, which is where the dots thing comes in. And I thought that was an interesting little thing about the system, even though it's hard to figure out at first. Like, each time they attack, a dot fills up, and then after their dots go completely full, they'll use a special attack on you. Stronger enemies can even take this further with the raging meter, where if it fills up, they start hitting you even harder. And naturally, you don't want to get hit with their strongest attack while the raging meter is in effect. But also, when you slip and knock them into stun, they're just not going to attack that much. They can't even use special attacks or fill up that meter for them. And then on top of that is the fact that you also have a much greater chance of doing multiple hits on each character, which is another nice little thing that they did. So the battle system's actually quite solid, and I really like it. Like, there's ways to do multiple hits, there's ways to do tons of damage in one shot. You could stack buffs, you could set up an you can use multiple versions of them in order to get additional increases. It's a pretty good system. However, this is where I have to talk about something I don't necessarily like, and that's how you manage to get your stats up. Now, in the case of your stats, there's three ways you do it. First is leveling your girls up anyway, which happen to be your Kamihime, and the souls that you can also learn too. Now, getting the souls is kind of tricky because you need soul points, but you're free to choose between all the ones that you had unlocked, and you get a few for free anyways. But the thing is, playing your soul points out carefully, because it's rather improbable to unlock all of them, especially the higher ones where they start causing a lot of soul points, and you're only getting like 30 per level up. So unless you're really getting a lot of soul points from events, and then leveling up your character's rank, you're not going to really get too many souls. But they all have their own unique little things, and then some of them even like take a strategic path. Like the ones that have snatch are the ones that are going to up your drop rate and whatnot. So there's one that comes with the first snatch, and then there's snatch second and snatch third. It just upgrades these abilities and everything that they get. And then on top of that, they have two things with their stat increases as well. One, they get bonus effects that are specific to them only, and then bonus effects once you got them maxed out to level 20, where they'll give it to any other soul, including yourself. So you can stack a whole bunch of those bonus effects when you start maxing out souls. So that's another reason why you want to max those as many as you can, but you still want to plan ahead on the ones you get, because some are clearly better than others, and the others just aren't too useful. Like, I'd say right at the bat, try to get your healers first, and then one of your better attackers. But there's that, and the fact that leveling up the souls depends on how strong it is. Like, the normal ones will definitely level up far faster than the legendary ones. Keep that in mind. But you can also sit up and equip the souls with different weapons based on what they use, and it'll determine their elements and whatnot, so you got a little bit of freedom with that. Unlike the Kamihime, where they're just rooted to one element period point blank. But Kamihime also level up just like souls, but the thing is, they got their own little leveling system where you have to break limit them a few times, just like the other stuff that I'll get to eventually. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because trying to grind for some of the materials is incredibly hard. And then if you have a SR or an SSR, then you're going to need the little grimoire books from the events in order to try and bump them up. So they're actually locked out from their fourth and final limit break, or break limit, if you do not get those books. I have enough for one SR after about 5 events. It's very hard to grind for those. And then I just recently pulled a SSR, and then they're giving out a ticket to tip and give another SSR guaranteed weapon. So if I don't get a duplicate, I'll have another one. But it's like, it's rather hard to try and get your Kamihime up, because you'll likely hit the level cap before you can give them the next break limit. And then you can also sit and level them up even faster by using weapons, but it's not recommended. But speaking of the weapons, that's where it really gets into a lot of the bulk of things. Now, weapons all have different elements, and they have different types. Like, you have axes that can end up being a fire element axe or a wind element axe, so it's not just broken down by rarity and type, but also the elements themselves. Now, this determines what the souls can sit and do, but it also determines how strong your other teammates can be. Because if they're rare or above, they come with a bonus effect where it will end up giving you like an attack boost or HP boost. That's the key to actually making your team strong. So you have to try and get a whole bunch of the same element to really try to bring out their power. Preferably SR or above. But if you're good at pulling them, you can get a whole bunch of R weapons and then start break limiting those. Like, fully break limited R goes past the strength of a non-broken SSR, I think. But it's still worth trying to get the other stuff, because events hand out SR and even SSR weapons pretty frequently. But the thing is the fact that you have to really, really try to plan ahead with your weapons, because I wasted quite a bit of time trying to figure that out, and that's why I'm not as strong as I should be. I mean, I've gotten about 26,000 attack power, but I really could have been higher. But there's also the Eidolons, which makes it even more interesting, but it's less complicated. Now, Eidolons, they actually come with special summon effects where majority of them will do damage, but a lot of them also have a side effect where it's like it'll either increase the drop rate if they're set as a leader skill, or one might step and lower the enemy's attack when they're summoned. It's a whole bunch of different stuff. And then the leader skills also get bonus effects when they're set as your leader Eidolon, or if you pick up a friend's one that has it too. So you can honestly get something like, I'd say, attack plus 40% twice, and it actually helps out pretty nicely. But it's usually specific to certain elements and whatnot. Like, the one they start you off with is not a bad start, but they're still better, because she gives you HP and attack plus 10% to everyone, so. But that's the thing. The majority of your stats are going to come from the weapons and that Eidolon, so you got to level the crap out of those guys, and then try to get the right ones to complement your teams. But that's the thing. It's not a bad system, but it's still complicated, tricky, and very, very, very time-consuming. But here's what makes it a little bit worse. The gacha pull rates in this game. I honestly have to say, the gacha pull rates are kind of, like, they're trollish as ever. Like, if you're trying to get SSR from there, good luck. If you're trying to get an SR, it still takes a lot of luck. Because even though the pull rates say 3%, which is the highest for any other game I've seen so far, but it says 3% for just normally trying to draw an SSR, it can end up being an SSR Eidolon or SSR weapon for a Kamihime to come out, or even just a regular old weapon that doesn't even give you a character. So you're really trying to do the pull rates and whatnot. Interestingly enough, if you do pull a SSR weapon that gives you a Kamihime twice, after the first time, they'll start giving you something called Dragonic Eyes, which is like premium currency or something too. But I haven't really gotten any of those yet because I've only ever pulled one SSR Kamihime weapon. But anyways, like it's really hard to pull more stuff. You're going to get a lot of rare characters, and unfortunately, they don't go nowhere near as strong as the SR or even the SSR ones. But as far as it goes, the storyline with the whole thing is like it's not a bad storyline. Like it's pretty much like a group trying to just recruit as many people as they can to try and stop Ragnarok. Now, in reality, seeing hundreds and hundreds of people just marching around from place to place is suspicious as hell. But in a concept of Kamihime project, they actually make sense because of the simple fact that they're just hopping from world to world, even from dimension to dimension, trying to recruit people to help stop Ragnarok. So yeah. But speaking of which, there's also a Ragnarok difficulty in the game, along with Ultimate, Expert, Normal, and I do believe Beginner. But yeah, it's called Standard instead of Normal. But the difficulties do try to suit the player depending on how far you've gotten, but naturally the better rewards are in the higher difficulties, and Ragnarok is definitely the strongest of the strongest. You need, like, if you're really trying to just take on Ragnarok by yourself, you need 40,000 attack power and some really strong weapons and weapon setups. Just keep in mind, you can get that attack power, but if your weapons ain't set up for the weapon skill bonuses, you're not going to do too much with that. Because honestly, if I just go for a straight attack power alone, my characters might deal 3,000, 4,000 damage, but when I do their element setups, they're doing over double or even triple that. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind. But overall, Kamihime Project is actually a pretty solid game. I just wish they upped the gacha rates a little bit more, considering the fact that that 3% chance is still split between other stuff. And then it's not even fully balanced between the Adoans and the Kamihime weapons. So it's kind of like, it's like you got a 1.5% chance to get a weapon, a 1.0% chance to get an Adoan, and a 0.5% chance to get a Kamihime weapon. It's kind of like that. But I don't fully know that's confirmed. But anyways, the game's actually pretty good. And if you're playing the 18 plus version, there's naturally different scenes you can get with the characters, which are, you could pretty much say bedroom scenes. But anyways, there's a lot of them. Just be warned that there's a lot that tend to focus on the forced genre, so you might want to try to avoid those scenes if you can tell that they're coming. But you still need to sip and do a lot of them anyways, because they also give a lot of magic jewels, which is a semi-premium gacha material. And then on top of that, there's also character abilities and whatnot they'll sip and give too, for all the different Kamihime you can get. But anyways, that's all I can really say on this game. Like, I like the direction it's going overall, but there are some things that clearly do need change, like the gacha thing and the fact that the events are beyond grindy. You really need to spam on the events. But like, you'll see a lot more of this video because, again, it's one of my more popular games. It might even be more popular than L-Sword at this point. I don't even know. But anyways, that's all I got to say for now, guys. Take care.